Well, this is fun so far, isn't it? Meaning the Trump presidency, which is coming in about 24 hours old, and it is going very, very well. This is a much different Trump than we were given the first time. He clearly understands the threat that is up against him, up against us. He walked into the Oval Office. He immediately started taking an axe to all of Joe Biden's executive actions, immediately making moves to secure the border, to get this country right, turning the January 6th political prisoners free. We will get to that in a little bit with Julie Kelly. This is going very, very well. And one of the reasons this is going so well is it's coming so fast. And let me explain what I mean by that. For the longest time, the GOP has made this mistake. Have you ever, pause for a moment. Let's do a little analogy. You ever had to get in some cold water, a swimming pool, ocean, somewhere? You ever had to get in some cold water? What's the best way to do it? Is it best to just kind of dip your toe in a little, ooh, that's cold, and then kind of ease your feet in, and soon you're almost up to your stomach and you're doing that breathing thing? Or is it best to just jump in? It's best to jump in. But forever the GOP, when it comes to executive orders, anything that could be deemed as remotely controversial by the media, they've always been toe dippers. Hey guys, we're thinking about this law. Let's float it out there and let's see if we get any pushback. That's what the GOP has traditionally done. And the GOP has traditionally gotten their lunch eaten doing that. Because when you do that, when you hold up one thing, hey, we might do an immigration executive order, and you don't do anything else, then you allow the media, like the vicious jackals they are, to feast on that one thing and essentially destroy your policies. But what Trump has done in the last 24 hours is so well done and so brilliant because he's flooding the zone. How do you even, if you're some evil communist apparatchik who works at ABC and you have to put together your nightly Trump hate segment, where do you even begin? He's doing all these things. He's taking out, where do you begin? He's doing very, very, very well so far. And you know, look, it's me. I'll tell you if he wasn't. He's doing outstanding. So far, one day in, this is a different, much more aggressive Trump, ordering government employees back to work. It's all wonderful. And that brings me to this. I am starting to get a little bit hopeful about something I haven't been hopeful about, full disclosure, really ever in my life. I'm starting to get hopeful about the American people's will to resist communist propaganda. You see, during COVID, you remember if you've watched this show for any length of time, I hit my lowest low when it comes to the American people's will. I watched this country fold like a cheap suit because the media and a bunch of scam artist doctors told them a chest cold was going to kill 1 million people. And I watched this country lose its mind. And you remember, if you were watching back then, I found it to be so disheartening. I was just flabbergasted, walking around, everybody in double masks. I was floored that happened in this country. And I thought to myself, the American people really can believe anything if the media presses it hard enough. If Democrats, Republicans, and the media join together, they can convince the American people of anything. That's where I came up with that sky is green theory. And so when Donald Trump was running for office, the second time, primary, general election, he was talking a lot about mass deportations. Mass deportation this, mass deportation that. And you remember what I said? I said, sounds good. We have to have it. It's necessary. I'm doubtful it's going to happen. And that was not a doubt specifically aimed at Trump. It was a doubt specifically aimed at the American people, meaning I know the propaganda campaign that's going to come. It's already begun when it comes to mass deportations. The Democrats, the American media, the globalist communists who run Western civilization now are highly invested in destroying Western civilization using the mass importation of foreigners. That's what they've done. They're very intent on it. That's why they hoovered up so many people in such a small amount of time into this country. They're that invested that now, if there is an attempt at deporting these foreigners, they're going to dig into propaganda. They're going to start treating people to videos of Lupe crying on television. Washington Post reporters are already putting this out there. Oh my gosh, she's crying. She can't violate our sovereignty. Media is pressing it. And remember, a long time ago, I warned you this was coming. You are going to have to take that part of you and you are going to have to set it aside. Because the truth is, there's no nice way to tell somebody, you're not welcome here. Stay out. It cannot be done nicely. It cannot. And it will involve tears. The propaganda effort around stopping this will be the largest, most pervasive, most evil propaganda effort you have ever seen in your life. The propaganda effort is not going to be just a bunch of screaming harpies, no, let all the illegals stay. The propaganda effort is going to be aimed directly at that kind heart that beats in your chest. You know, I knew, you knew this was coming. But what I'm starting to get hopeful about is the American people's will to resist it. I have not seen, in response to the propaganda, so far, I need to clarify, it's been 24 hours, right? Mass deportation started like 2 hours ago. But so far, I haven't seen the American people breaking. I haven't seen the crocodile tears, and the media is going to press it. They're going to press it hard. And it's going to go beyond the American media, remember. This is a globalist communist plan. It's not an accidental thing. Democrats, Hollywood, shoot, even the Pope wants the border open.
Pope Francis, speaking in a TV interview which aired yesterday here in Italy, said that if incoming U.S. President Donald Trump comes through on his promise of mass deportations, it would be, quote, a disgrace.
Questo, se è vero, sarà una disgrazia.
If this is true, it is a disgrace,
Fa pagare ai poveri disgraziati
because it makes the poor unfortunate who have nothing pay the price of imbalance.
dello squilibrio.
You see, there is a very large, very powerful system. A lot of parts of it want that border open. They want the mass importation of foreigners. And the propaganda campaign you and I are about to be under, it might dwarf the propaganda around COVID. The question always was, the question remains, can the American people resist? Do they have what it takes to resist it? And I will say this, they might. If you'd asked me even a year ago, I would have told you, nah, I doubt it. And I'm not saying they will, but they might. And one of the reasons they might is the American media, who will have to be the mouthpiece of this propaganda effort. They have so destroyed their credibility in every possible way that the propaganda this time probably won't land as hard as it did last time. And these sick freaks haven't learned a thing. They can't even look at a video, a political video, without counting how many black people are in the crowd.
You guys, I have to say, I'm looking at this crowd. I do not see many people of color. Has anybody else besides me observed that? I'm fascinated by why that is.
On Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the most notable and one of the most high-ranking is Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, first black woman to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court, notably appointed by Joe Biden as he wanted to follow in the footsteps of Jimmy Carter and appointing a number of women and black women to the federal judgeships.
General Brown, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, is probably there. In fact, that might be side of his head. No, because he's, well, I can't tell what uniform
I
that
can't
is.
tell from this.
But he was undoubtedly there.
Yeah, I saw Jim Clyburn.
What an odd way to look at the world. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.